This might come as a shock to many people, but I didn't want to be a doctor. Am I a doctor? Yes.
Did you enjoy being a doctor?
I did. I'm a doctor who uses storytelling to help people live healthier lives. You have to always know why you do what you do. It has to be top of your mind. And for me, I measure my success based on the amount of lives we've impacted.
Yes.
If we can impact more lives, then I've succeeded.
Welcome to Voices with Victoria, the place where you gain practical wisdom and inspiration to transform your life, one voice at a time. Let's dive deep into real stories of everyday heroes, sharing insights that spark personal growth, career advancement, and business success. Make sure you subscribe and be part of the movement.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another insightful and exciting episode of Voices with Victoria. And I have right here in the studio, I know you can tell from my voice, I'm so excited to have him right here in the studio. And I'm going to be doing a brief formal introduction of who this person is, and then you can guess. He is a Nigerian board-certified medical doctor. Is the drum rolling? He is a multiple award-winning content creator. Can I hear the ovations already? He is a public speaker, and he runs many initiatives to help people's health as well. And so today, join me as I make welcome with a clapping ovation right there wherever you are, a standing ovation, and if you can, a smiling ovation for the one and only, the Aproko Doctor.
Thank you.
Gaga.
Thank you.
So good to have you here today.
Thank you. It's
How do you
actually a
feel? How
pleasure
do you
to be
feel?
here. Calm.
Mm-hmm.
Content. I think that's the word I should use more often. Content. Yeah. That's how I feel
interesting.
right now. Yeah.
That's interesting. You know, I've done just a short introduction, and I know that everybody knows about Aproko Doctor. We see them interesting, creative things that you do. It is not the usual for a medical doctor, but you still use creative ways to create content and all of that. Beyond all of this, who is Aproko Doctor? We'd like to know from you.
Funny you ask, because that is a question that most people don't ask, right? When we say, who are you as a person, we automatically start to reel out our qualifications, we start to reel out our achievements, and that's also because we have a sense of identity that is tied to these things. I'm not saying it's a bad thing in itself. I'm just saying, if you take out all your qualifications, if you take out everything you've done, what exactly does it make you, right? Let's assume that by some twist of fate, I'm no longer able to do the things I do. Does that mean that my identity has changed? So if you ask me, I would say this. Who is Chinonso Egemba? Is someone who is committed to learning 1% every other day.
Powerful. This is such an interesting and powerful opening here. And so that leads me to the next question I'm really interested in, and I would like to hear from you. How did you get here? Seeing the man that you have become and the movement that you pulled. What's your story?
Grit. I think that's the one word I'll use. I'll use grit. A lot of my friends who, if you ask and they're able to describe me, will tell you that if I've set my mind to something, it will happen. Might take a while,
But it will happen.
but it will definitely happen, right? So before Aproko Doctor became Aproko Doctor, it wasn't Aproko Doctor. It was TV Box Idea. That was the plan. And even while I was in medical school, I had always wanted to educate people. I had wanted to use media as a source of information, I felt like we should do more education rather than, entertainment. And probably that's because growing up, I used to be on TV. We had debate clubs.
Oh,
I had
wow.
my neighbors who would come in from other places to come watch non-so debate on TV. And, my panel of judges, accurate and Aproko debaters, all that.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did all of that too.
Maybe the
Amazing.
Gen Z now will not relate, but it was quite a wholesome time. And so I come in contact with a couple of patients that I knew needed to be educated. Because of that, I wanted to get into radio because I felt like that was going to be a source. And even as a medical student, I attempted getting into radio, and I was rejected twice.
Wow.
Yes, twice. I was told I wasn't good enough, but I didn't let that deter me. And so I continued practicing in front of my mirror. I remember vividly, and then I knew that there was one skill I had, and that was graphic designing. And so I started
Wow.
to use that.
So you were learning that while being a medical student as well.
Let's just say the proverb jack of many trades,
Wow.
master of none.
Interesting.
That was me as a person, right? So I continued that since 2015. And next year will make it 10 years that I've committed myself to educating people. Did I envision it was going to get to this? Yes, I did.
I like that.
I did. I did. I didn't know how long it was going to take. I did not know how much work it would require from me. But I knew that I would get to a point where I would have been able to build a community of people who were interested in healthcare, and that was what I wanted. Ignorance annoys me.
Wow.
Yes, it does. It does. Especially willful ignorance. It does. And so I just wanted to end that. And here we are today.
Amazing. What you just said is very instructive. It just means that success is not casual. It doesn't just happen. The person that you have become, the brand that you built, not many people say, I know that I will be this. Some people say, oh, I didn't know, it just happened. But you categorically said that you knew that this is what you wanted and this is what you were going to become. You didn't know when, but you definitely knew it was going to happen. And that's very instructive. That success is intentional. And, the person that we have become, their footprints, their footsteps that gets to that. And when we intentionally take those steps, we definitely get to where we are.
Now you're preaching.
Okay, I'm preaching, but it's okay. It's allowed.
Yeah,
here.
it is.
It's allowed.
It is.
But let's go back a bit before we get back to the present.
Okay.
Let's backtrack a bit. Your childhood. What inspired you to choose medicine? Forget about almost everybody growing up. I want to be a medical doctor. And it didn't happen. But for you, what was the inspiration behind the career that you have chosen that you're living right now?
This might come as a shock to many people, but I didn't want to be a doctor.
Ha!
Yeah.
It's like your own is like the opposite of everything. People wanted to be doctors
Yeah.
growing up, and then
I never wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a musician. And I remember telling my mom that I was going to sing. And
Can
she
you
said
sing?
over a dead body.
Can you sing?
Oh, yes, I can. I sing really good. Yeah.
Interesting.
Don't worry. Just look out for my album in the next couple
Hey,
of
we
weeks.
can't wait to. Okay.
Don't worry, guys. So, I was drawn to arts. But like I mentioned, I was also a very curious person even as a kid. And so I read a lot. And most times you should say, this person reads a lot. It means he's intelligent. A class, science class. And so, I found myself in science class. Went through the motions in science class. Hated maths. I hated math with a passion.
Oh wow.
Till today, actually.
Okay.
Till today. That's why I suck at dates. Yes. I don't remember dates. I don't remember time. I don't anything that's doing numbers. My
But
brain
you
doesn't know
remember,
how to
but you know
process
money.
it.
When he has naira, billions,
I don't
dollars.
deal
at
with
the back.
money.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's
Yes.
interesting.
I have someone who deals with money. Yes. I don't deal with money because I suck at dealing with numbers. And I understand that that's my weakness. Right? So, he's intelligent. Send him to science school. Funny enough, my favorite subject in school was physics. Because he explained how the world worked. I remember driving and I saw something that looked like water on the road. And we drove close to
Okay.
that place and we didn't see the water anymore. And I'm
You
like,
were wondering.
But I saw, and that question puzzled me as a kid. It got explained in physics. Uneven surfaces, light bouncing, mirage. I can still remember it till today. Simply because I love explaining how the world works. And I got into school just went through the motions, wrote exams,
Just for the sake
passed,
of.
just for the sake of it, and then got into medical school. And while I was in medical school, I still had that creative part of me needing expression, right? And so the TV box idea came to life.
Okay.
And so right now, this is basically a fusion of art and science for me. I'm able to take the complexity of science
Explain it with art.
and use the art of storytelling to explain it. And so it sounds like, oh, he's explaining medicine like we've never seen before. It's just art and science. It's just art and science put together. Yeah. So,
This is interesting.
my childhood, did I want to be a doctor? No. Am I a doctor? Yes.
Did you enjoy being a doctor?
I did. Extremely, the parts that actually helped people. So yes, people would say, but then again, if you never wanted to be a doctor, that means you found medicine horrible. But no, I could see the impact of the good I was doing in the lives of the people. Like right there and then, you intervene and you could change the direction of a person's life just like that. And it gave me a sense of fulfillment, right? I also love the areas of medicine that required me to work with my hands. So stitching, assisting in surgeries. Oh, I loved it, right? But when it became routine, I lost some interest.
Amazing. Okay, let's come back to the future. Interesting. Let's come back. And I want to ask this question for young people listening to this. In whatever industry they're playing in, whether medicine or, whatever space it is. Looking at you now, you look like you've got it all figured out. I mean, you said it from the beginning, you knew you were going to be here. So I'm sure you probably know that this is not the what's the word, the pinnacle,
That's not.
There's still more.
We're not even halfway done.
I know. I can tell. But now let's look at this. Have you ever had challenges? Because we are in these times where, especially in Nigeria alone, being in Nigeria alone, is already like a stormy ground you are in. I want you to talk to young people or anybody in any season of your life, probably going through challenges using yourself. You don't need to tell us specifics, but I just want you to talk and speak to people about challenging times and how you personally have been able to come out. Except you've not had, maybe, I don't know, you can tell us if maybe you just had it.
Maybe it's just vibes and inshallah. But
Okay.
no. So one of the things I will tell young people is don't expect it to be easy. Right? It's going to be hard. It's going to be extremely hard if what you're trying to do is bigger than you. That's one. Because you expect it to be extremely hard, it requires you to rise to the occasion.
Yes.
I work out at the gym from time to time. When I started at the gym, I saw these guys come in. They were massive bodybuilders. And they came in, locked some weights in, and pushed it like it was nothing.
Over time.
I knew that I would not be able to lift that kind of weight with my current, But I said, okay, I'm in one plate. Let's see if we can make it two. It was hard, right? Tore some muscles, had some shoulder sprains, was in pain most of the time. But right now, you go to the gym and confidently lift 2 plates. You need to also understand as a young person that it's the journey you enjoy, not necessarily the destination.
Absolutely. I agree.
And a lot of us we overlook that part. We see what we want and we want to get there now. We don't realize that there's a journey to get there. I know, yes, we live in a world where everybody showcases their wins and losses, and it looks like. And at every point in time, you actually have to know why you're doing what you're doing. What exactly is the reason? I'll give you a personal story. A couple of years ago, I was scrolling on Twitter, and I came across a friend of mine who who post not a friend. Let me rectify
Acquaintance,
that. I came across someone I know who were on Twitter together, and here was this person posting a picture of a luxury car somewhere in Dubai, and here I was still trying to find my feet.
You'd be like, God,
At
when?
this exactly. I was like, God, when? And it almost derailed me because I know I went into his inbox immediately, and I was like,
Show me the way.
and I was like, show me the way. What's up? How you doing? How far? I got blinded by greed. I got blinded by, I wanted what he wanted now, or what he had now. And down the line, this is 6-7 years later, information is coming out that all that
Fake.
was fake. And so if he had derailed me at that point, I would have probably ended up where he is currently now.
Packaging without substance.
Exactly.
Empty.
So I would say if you have to always know why you do what you do. It has to be top of your mind. And for me, I measure my success based on the amount of lives we've impacted.
Yes.
If we can impact more lives, then I've succeeded. If we start to impact less people, I start to look at my methods. So because I'm always tweaking to impact more people, I'm always tweaking to impact more people. That's what success means to me. So identify what success means to you. And I promise you, it's not the car. It's not the houses. It's not fame. Those things will come as a result of what you're
Doing the work.
If you do the work, these things will come.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because when life really hits you in the face, you'd probably not, those things will probably not be important to you anymore.
Amazing. This is really very. I think we need to just take a deep breath to take in all that you've said, and then we get into your health advocacy and the work that you do. But first of all, I'd like to ask you, at what point did you start the Aproko Doctor brand? How did you know that this was going to fly? I know that you said you always knew that. But did you know in detail that this is how it was going to turn out?
Not in detail. I just knew, and I remember telling someone that was very close to me, he's dead now.
Sorry.
And I told him, I said that there will come a time where the world will have to listen to me. Healthcare wise, just they'll have to pay attention, right? And he asked how. I was like, I don't know. I just know it was a burning desire. It felt like a weight of responsibility. And so even my time during school was spent talking to people. So the Emeka and Nkechi that you hear currently now did not start now. I probably honed those skills while in school, right? Public speaking was second nature at some point, even though invariably I'm a very shy person. Not shy, introverted, right? So I'm very introverted. But the moment you put me in front of a mic,
and you're Nkechi and Emeka.
exactly. So
character comes to
that
life.
is a different character. That's
Okay.
work.
Yeah.
Right? So 2015 was when I decided, okay, you know what? I'll do this, which now led to the first challenge. I started on Facebook. The people who were listening to me on Facebook were my family and friends. They probably didn't care much. And so I was like, okay, let's move to Instagram. And I moved to Instagram, and that was when the 15 seconds skits came out. I had not developed the skills for that yet. And so people were not paying attention to me either. But I didn't let that stop me. And I remembered somewhere, I think I have an X account when I went to X. And people were not paying attention also. But X was more my thing. You could share ideas with words, and, I loved that. And one day something happened in the hospital where I worked in, and I decided to tell a story about it. And I told that story, and it went viral. And I realized, people love stories. And that's art. So let's tell stories from going. Even the Emeka and Nkechi, they hear stories. People can see themselves in Emeka. They can see themselves in Nkechi. They can see themselves in the scenarios I paint around these people. Storytelling doesn't need to start from once upon a time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
and you're able to break down medical jargons that, people could find boring and make it relatable and in some way interesting as well. And I mean, it's a win-win. You're sharing the medical gospel, and we're also interested in we're being entertained and learning at the same time. I think that's a win. And so this leads me to one of the initiatives that you do, and that is the Aproko Nation Fiesta. I just want to know more about it and what inspired you to actually start that. This one we're adjusting to talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, so we have a drug problem in Nigeria. And I don't think this is the time to bury our head in the sand and act like it's not there. Yeah. It is.
It is.
You go on social media and you see young people whose lives have been overtaken by drugs. Whether it's Rufinol, whether it's methamphetamine, whether it's crack, whether it's cocaine. These people have their lives engulfed in it. And you realize that because there's no sense of direction, a lot of young people actually stumble into these things. It could be, and one of the things that's responsible for that is sometimes when the social engineering is high, it's easier for people to pick up those habits. Most people, when you ask them where they started using drugs, sometimes it's a party. And so we said, that's my team and I said, we sat down and decided to come up with this idea. And the idea was, can we create an alternative space where people can actually party for the sake of partying? I knew growing up, we used to party without having to need drugs to keep the fun. The party was fun because it was a party.
It was a party. That's it.
You would dance, you would meet people, you would have conversations, you would laugh heartily, you would have games, you would connect with people. But because these people have lost that skill, they're needing to fill in the gaps with drugs and narcotics and alcohol and all that. And we wanted to change that because there's an entire generation of people coming after us who need to view partying in the right lights. And so the Aproko Nation Fiesta came to life. And so we said, okay, fine. What do we need to do? Let's get a space. We got a space, created a concept. It's happening at Muri Okunola Park, 26th of October. And that's my birthday, funny enough.
Oh,
and so we decided to have the first edition
on
my birthday.
Bash.
Exactly. So we decided to have the first edition on my birthday. And that's me saying, I'm committing to this. Saying, we're going to have the healthiest party ever in Africa. I dare say, yes, in Africa. And it will be on my birthday. Subsequent editions could be on other days. But the first edition, I want it to be on my birthday. And so, out of all this, what are we trying to solve? We're trying to see if we can chip away at the drug problem, first of all. We're trying to create an alternative space. Secondly, we're trying to also make people aware.
Yeah, so like a campaign as well.
So of what exactly the problem is. We're also trying to let people adopt healthy habits. Because yes, he's a Aproko Doctor, he's on social media, they just hear it. But sometimes when you come and see it practiced in real life, it's easier for you. It demystifies it. Most people don't know what healthy living means.
Yeah.
But when you come to that space, it demystifies it. So it's easier for you to adopt so that we can actually help people live healthier and longer. So if you're watching this, whenever you see it,
you're invited.
26th of October, 2024 first edition Aproko Nation Fiesta.
So we're going to put the link somewhere in this video. So
yes,
look
without
for
the link, you won't be allowed in.
Please, so you will not be bounced out. Yeah. You want to have fun.
Exactly. You don't want to be fighting with bouncers.
At all. You don't have power for that. Okay, amazing. Thank you for the invite. Again, back to what I mentioned before. How you're able to use Emeka and Nkechi character to actually communicate real stuff. Not just entertainment this time around, but you've been able to successfully weave in education and entertainment. I think they call it edutainment this time around, which is storytelling skills and the leveraging social media as well. But then I think there's one video you put out where you did not put some of the usual memes and people were celebrating you on Twitter that, he's very, very sensitive to know that this is a very sensitive topic that you cannot laugh away and you were very serious in it. But how do you find the balance? Not to make it too comical. And then, in such a way that it swallows up the entire messaging of what you actually, because people can laugh away and forget what you said.
And that's also because we know what we're trying to do. The main focus is education.
Yes. Okay.
The channel is entertainment. So if at any point entertainment overshadows education, we've lost.
Okay. That's great.
If the education is too important that people get bored or we start to lecture, we've not really achieved our goal. So, which is why when people refer to me as you're a content creator and a social media influencer, not really. That's not the whole picture. I'm a doctor who uses storytelling to help people live healthier lives. That's basically what it is.
I love that. I love that. I love
So
that.
if you say is a social media influencer, then you reduce everything I've done to social media influencing.
Okay.
This year alone, we've produced 3 movies,
Okay.
right? And that's also because we understand that storytelling is a very powerful way to inspire people. Does that mean I'm a filmmaker?
Yeah, really. You still fall into that.
Yes. But that is not the entirety of what I try to do, right? It's health. We're trying to change health. We will use whatever means. We can even use music.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
To your album.
Yes, we
Because
can
at the
even
core of
use
you
music.
is health, and then you
Yes.
could use different things to
Different
push
avenues to push
as
it
well.
out. So that's basically who I am, or what I do. Let me not say who I am because I'm committed to learning, but this is basically what I do, and that's what I've committed my life to. Right. So we're able to keep the balance because even whoever joins our team understands that this is what we're trying
The
to do.
vision is clear.
Yes.
Amazing. You mentioned the movie, and I saw one on YouTube. This short film that
Yeah,
you have, Stitches,
yeah.
Cervical Cancer,
Yeah.
and I'm very interested in that. Can you? It's a very powerful tool for raising awareness. So, can you tell me what inspired you to create this short film? I mean, particularly cervical cancer, and then just in few minutes, bring your movie here. Just
Okay.
tell us what it's about.
Basically.
Basically.
So there's a limit to how much Aproko Doctor can do as a person. And like I would tell any young person there also, please, please, and please build a dream that goes beyond you. And that's also because I don't view myself as a celebrity. Do I happen to be one? Yes. But is that my person? No. Right? And so if at any time it requires me to bring other people into the picture in order to tell a more powerful story, I would definitely do that. We realized that there were certain biases, because human beings, we have biases. There were certain biases that occur in the minds of people. Somebody may just not like the way my nose is shaped, and all of a sudden it affects the way he views my stuff.
Or the way you drink water.
It could just be,
talk
I
about
don't
water.
like the way. There were a lot of people when I started who were just annoyed by the way I sounded. Oh, he's not
Okay.
talking like a real doctor. He talks like a tout. He talks like, oh, yes.
Oh,
That
well.
was the annoyance.
Okay.
And I knew that I was going to be limited in trying to reach out to those people. Because I understood that those biases exist, let's make it a story. When you're watching a story, you can't single out one person and just hate the person.
Yeah,
There's a story.
that's smart.
So it's easier. Secondly, a lot of the things that we educate people on have been strongly held beliefs in the minds of people. When I come as a Aproko Doctor and try to attack those myths, I become an easy target. And so people lose attention of the message and try to attack me. Right? So it's like kill the messenger. Right? And so cervical cancer it still is one of the biggest killers of women in Nigeria. Right? So we said, but we've made videos on cervical cancer. We've done this, we've done that. We're like, do people really understand? And so I was like, okay, let's have an experiment. Let's pay attention to how transmittable cervical cancer is. And that was one of the major modes of transmission, which is sexual. And so we made that video. It was about a disgruntled son, philandering father, and a faithful woman. Because a lot of women who probably come down with cervical cancer don't think that they would ever
Yeah.
come down with cervical
they're
cancer.
doing the things they
you
should
get,
do.
I've done the things I should do. I'm faithful to my
Cure
husband and
and
this,
all
that.
of that.
Now, it doesn't always have to be an unfaithful husband, funny enough.
Okay.
It could be a certain case of cervical of HPV that she probably contacted
Exactly.
10 years ago,
Hmm.
even before she got married. And so we made the video, and here was a very interesting lesson that we learned. A lot of people in the comment section went, "Oh, so it's sexually transmitted." I'm like, but that's what we've
But
been
that's what you've been
shouting
saying since.
since.
Hmm.
So it just shows you that people,
Hmm.
tell it in a story. We try to educate a lot, and we lecture, and people doze off. I mean,
Yeah.
we have videos of people in certain parliaments here and there in different countries. I'm not going to mention the
Don't call,
country we are
don't
currently
worry.
shooting
It's
this
okay.
video
We
in.
know.
Yes,
We
but
know.
you know, even in other countries, the parliaments, and you have people's fathers sleeping off. That's because it's boring.
Yeah.
So that information that you have condensed into a story, and people will pay attention. And that's also because when we tell stories, it activates the emotions in our brains. When you have that emotion, it's easier for you to retain it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you must have heard most likely 10,000 things today.
Yeah.
How many things could you remember by the time you hit the bed? Very little. However, the only things you can actually remember are the things that made an imprint
Yeah.
first on your emotions.
Things you can relate to.
Exactly. You would remember a fight you had in the morning.
The gist that you
You
had
would probably
with your
remember,
friend.
yes. So those are the things. Emotions help retainership, and if we can continue to do that, we'll most likely have a more informed
Amazing.
society.
And we're expecting more.
Yes, the
of
second
this.
one is about contact tracing.
Okay.
And then the third one is actually a series. So you have more episodes of that. And that's about the primary healthcare system in Nigeria. It's been neglected a lot, and we want to shine the spotlight on it.
Please, you're a full filmmaker. In fact, you should join the association because the ministry is moving on to the permanent side. Thank you so much for that. And, you know, I want to just know, you do a lot of things. You're very busy. We can even tell from today.
Yeah.
How do you balance this? How do you balance everything that you do and keep the vision in front of you to know this is priority, this is what I need to do, and not, you know, you don't get lost in the activities. You know, there's a slang saying being busy, achieving little or not. And how do you keep yourself from being too spread thin? Do you get what I mean? And really doing what you should do.
I get people around me, right? But they're not just anybody. I think I'm one of the most blessed people in the universe, and one of the reasons I say that is we have a team of almost 20 people, right? All committed to this. So behind the scenes, there are a lot more people working, and they ensure that the vision continues, making sure that everybody plays their part. It's also very important that you have a support. You need to have someone that has your back if you're going to achieve anything big or anything great. Someone who believes wholly in what you're doing and is willing to commit to it. Because there is an adage that says if you want to go fast, go alone.
Go alone,
But if you want to go far,
go with people.
go with other people. But then it's not just going with everybody, it's going with people you trust. It's going with people who can hold you when you're tired. And you also committing to holding them when they're tired. So one of the most important things is people. Another thing that you need is clarity of vision. They are shiny things, right? And there will always be shiny things. You have to learn the discipline of not being distracted by every shiny thing out there. So here's what we're doing, and we're going to continue at it until we get it. That is the discipline you need.
Regardless of every other fancy thing.
There'll be fancy things that come up that will distract you. And oh yes, I've been distracted quite a number of times, but I always found my vision back. You always want to try out new trends. You always want to try out new things, but ensure that your vision is correct. You also need someone who is responsible for reminding you of that vision. Number 3 is that work-life balance is a myth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to say that. If you do work that you enjoy, work that is impactful, it finds its way into your life. For you to disintegrate it means destroying one.
Yeah.
You're either going to destroy your life or destroy work. However, if you're working for the paycheck alone, then it's fine. Have a work-life balance. Once it's 4 p.m., please, nobody send me any emails. I'm done. Work-life balance is beautiful.
Can you even really balance?
No. Like I said, if you're working for a paycheck, if your motivation is the salary at the end of the month, what you can achieve work-life balance. And you can achieve it well. All you just need to do is once it's 4 o'clock, off your phone.
No matter what.
No matter if the company
your boss
wants
is
to
calling
burn,
you, don't even,
let it catch fire. That's because your motivation is what? The paycheck. Just do what is required of you in your contract, and that's it. If you're building a dream consumes you. And so you don't have a work-life balance. You just have a way that it integrates into each other. I cannot separate my work from my life now.
You have one life. Everything forms the make of who you are.
Exactly. So you just have to ensure that it's what you enjoy doing. Because that's what keeps you motivated. Yeah. That's what keeps you that's what gives you the drive. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm tired to my bones. I'm like, you know what?
You still have to shoot in Nkechi and Emeka's video.
Let's go.
And the many other things that you do.
Exactly. So
amazing.
How do we achieve balance? I don't.
You don't need to look for. You're not even in search of balance. You're just living.
I'm consumed by this.
I think that's very profound. Because of time, I have lots of questions, but I'm just looking at the time, and I know that you have to go. We're talking about things being contained in your time.
Thank you.
So we're going to take it up from here. But I want you to say your final words, especially to people who want to create an impact in their community, whether they're just starting up or they're in that season of their life where they feel stuck. I know that you've had those seasons as well, the times where you're posting on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and it seems like nobody's even listening to me. But look at you now. We can say, look at God, right? For people in that, maybe that's their season right now, what are you going to say to them? And for people who want to create impact with social media as well, how can they do that? Sorry, and then once you do that, you see what you said about entertainment. It has been ringing in my head, and I'm like, hey, God, I hope this podcast is not boring. Please
don't ask me to sing. I knew that was. I knew that was what you were going to do.
Oh my God, how did you know? Wait, I'm going to shock you now. What if I change my mind?
That would be you changing your mind.
Okay.
But I knew from the moment I said I can sing, and you asked me, you can really sing, and I said I sing good. I knew it was burning.
Okay.
It was somewhere in your head.
Okay,
tongues of fire
right.
somewhere.
Hey, okay, prove me right. Prove me right. So you're going to sing.
No, don't worry. This is going to be a boring episode.
No, now, please. See, that's the thing. You have to make it. I trust your power and capacity.
There is no direction of the entertainment in this point.
Oh, okay. No, just sing and say your dreams, you will make it. Anything. You can sing, even attend the Aproko Fiesta, October 20, whatever. But final words.
Yeah, so final words. Just start. Right? Most times we get paralyzed by analyzing. You want to be sure that everything is in place. You want to ensure that every dot is on it. Another thing you also need to know is a lesson I learned quite a number of years ago is that when you start something, it's not clear. But the more you work at it, it gets clearer. And don't wait to have the whole dream formed before you start. Just start. And I hope that with these few points of mine,
you've been able to convince and not to confuse.
I've been able to convince you and not confuse you. That is not really easy like that. But you will win.
You will win, and we're rooting for you. Thank you so much. It's been an absolutely amazing time right here in the studio. Don't worry, we'll try to infuse memes inside, but that's not the way. This is purely inspirational, and we hope that you're inspired by Aproko Doctor's story and all that he has had for you as well. And we're looking forward to you winning. He's cheering you on and all of that. Please attend our Aproko Fiesta happening in October. Look forward to seeing you. Until next time, please do well to follow us on all our social media handles at Aproko Doctor. Twitter, Instagram, I'm sure LinkedIn as well. TikTok, everywhere to get your health tips and strategies as well. As you know, I am Victoria Undo. Until next time, bye for now. Thank you.